friends, welcome to the Tea Party. So as you may know, the new DCP application season is up and running, and I have a few tips to help you guys get through that process, and I kind of wanted to do it in a more laid back type of style tea party tip. So we're gonna see how this goes. But before we jump into the application tips portion, I have a few things to catch you guys up on because it's been a while since we last talked. So let's get on into the updates first. Okay, so first things first, and it has to relate to Instagram. So I used to just promote my personal Instagram, and I had it pretty split between personal life and Disney. And as I was thinking about that a lot, I realized that half my audience on that page wanted to see personal life and the other half wanted to see Disney. So I decided to go ahead and create a Disney Instagram. It's at @jointhetparty_ for you guys, so we can really connect through our love of Disney over there. So please go follow that if you want to see more Disney content and participate in polls and surveys to help me know what videos and content you guys want to see on this channel. Not only that, you'll be the first among to know any sort of news, whether it's when I post a video or new travel dates that I'm going to announce, aka next week to Disney World. So you're going to be among the first to know if you follow that Instagram. And if that's not enough to convince you to go follow it, Instagram is really a great place to connect with you guys and get to know you. I just really love the Instagram community and the potential it has to create friendships. Since starting this new Disney feed, I have been able to connect with so many other Disney friends and really get to know you guys more. I have a text. But I've really been able to get to know you guys better, and as you know, if you've watched my videos lately, I've really wanted to create this like tea party type community, and that is definitely being accomplished over on my Instagram. So make sure you guys go follow that so you can really be engaged and included in all things tea party and Disney. So go follow my Instagram at @jointhetparty_. Oh, I'm popular. Next topic, travel dates. So I've been getting a lot of questions lately if Disney 360 is still happening or when it's happening, blah 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 blah, and I have good news. It is happening. We decided not to go to any of the foreign parks during the summer because summer months are just really expensive to travel in, so we kind of put it on hold until the fall, which was kind of our original plan anyway. But it will be picking back up. That was Helen speaking of. But it will be picking back up within these next few months, and we have all the Asia parks trips planned. But if you guys are just dying and can't wait until then, I'm actually going to Disney World next week with my mom and my dad and my little sister Laura. And I am so excited because they didn't get the opportunity to come and visit me on my DCP because I have a family of 7 and it's really expensive to fly everyone out to Disney World. So they didn't get to come, but now they're finally making the trek over and we're going to Mickey's Not So Scary Party, and I am so excited because I get to introduce them into this new park and all the things that I love, and my dad is arguably a bigger Disney nerd than I am, so I'm so excited to introduce him to a new Disney park that he hasn't seen in real life before. But I'm so excited. We're going to Animal Kingdom and then Mickey's Not So Scary, and I cannot wait. They say last the best of all the game, and tonight is no exception because I've saved the best announcement for last, and that is that I'm applying for the DCP again. And I'm so excited because I have had serious FOMO this last summer as I've been watching people's vlogs and they're hanging out in Disney World and having a good time, and I'm sad because I couldn't go there all the time, and my bank account is sad because I keep flying out there to go for a few days, and I think I just gotta move back. But guys, the excitement doesn't even stop there because I am applying with 2 of my best friends in the entire world, my sisters! Sarah and Lauren are applying with me. So I don't know if I've ever really talked about my family's like relationships here on this channel, but if you've watched any of my family vlogs, then you know that my family is really close. But I genuinely mean it when I say my siblings are my best friends in the entire world. So thinking about being able to share this experience with my sisters makes me so happy and excited, and I'm just really hoping we all get accepted and make it through the application process. But a little backstory, so this summer again, like I said, I had serious FOMO, and I brought up the idea of me applying for the DCP again in the spring, and then we realized both my sisters are eligible to apply to the DCP. And then the next thing that we realized was, because of the different career paths that we're on, this would be the only semester we could all apply to the DCP and do it together. So we have our fingers, our toes, our feet, our legs, everything crossed that we can all get in, and we're hoping it goes well, because that would literally be the best thing in the entire world. Okay, so now that you know that we're all applying, we want to take you guys on our journey through the application process. So, quick little backstory of why you should take my advice, I guess, for your application tips. I have applied to the DCP 6 times. 6 times, guys. So I applied twice and didn't get in. I got put in submission, and then the 3rd time I got in and got accepted for the fall 2016 program, which was the DCP that I did. And since then I've applied 3 more times, including this round. The previous 2 times I had just applied so I could stay up to date, so when you guys were asking me questions, then I could give you valid information. But this time I'm actually applying to get in again, so it's a little bit more nerve-wracking, especially because we don't know how it's all gonna play out with my other 2 younger sisters. But out of the 6 times I've been accepted, 4 of those, like I said, then 2 of those I've turned down, and then 1 of them this round, obviously I'm waiting to hear back. I did just have my phone interview literally 2 hours ago. I got off the phone. My interview went okay. We'll talk about that in a later video. I want to do another help video based on the web-based interview and the phone interview. Anyways, so in addition to the 6 times of me applying to the DCP, I'm coaching my sisters through their first time applying this round. So just an update on their applications. Lauren is currently in application received, which I've heard is the new in submission. So it's not unheard of that people get pulled out, so we're hoping for the best. And Sarah actually completed her WBI today, and we'll be scheduling her phone interview for next week within the next 24 hours. So I am extremely proud of my little Padawans. Okay, so hopefully all of that experience in the DCP application gives me a little bit of street cred, and you guys will be able to actually listen to the advice I have to give. Today we're going to be mainly focusing on the first part of the application process, and that is the initial application. So real quick, I'm going to assume that none of you have applied to the DCP before, and this is the first you're hearing of the application process, and briefly go over it. But the application process is a 3-part system, which ideally you go from the application to the web-based interview to the phone interview to the job offer. Now this is the part that drives everyone insane, and it is that the wait time between each of those steps varies greatly among applicants, and we don't really know a whole lot of why, but hopefully with what tips that I give you today, it'll be able to strengthen your application, so it will be able to bump it higher up in the system. First off, there are a few things that you need to decide and know before you start your application. You do need to become a little educated on the program itself. So real quick, I'm going to go over a few basic things. First of all, there are 2 different programs. There's the Walt Disney World and the Disneyland. Disney World is very big. They accept about 4,000 students every semester, and it is a lot more established, whereas Disneyland only accepts about 300. It's a lot smaller, therefore a lot harder to get into. There's also the time frame, and there's 2 different programs. There's a regular program and then the Advantage program. The regular program is about 4 to 5 months long, while the Advantage extends into the summer and is usually about 6 to 8 months. So in addition to figuring out that information, you will also need to familiarize yourself with the roles or jobs that are offered to the DCP students. You can do that by looking at the job descriptions on the DCP webpage, but this part really make sure that you are familiar with the roles and the responsibilities of each of those jobs so you know exactly what you're applying for. So in regards to the role section of the application, you're going to hear kind of two sides. Some people say make yourself very available and put high interest on every role, and some say only be super picky and only do ones that you feel like you really want to do. And I think it's kind of somewhere in the middle of those two. Obviously, you're only going to want to put interest on roles that you think you will enjoy because you want to have a good time there and you're spending a lot of time working. You're going to want to enjoy what you're doing. But on the flip side, you also want to be willing to be open-minded and be willing to go into things with a positive, because if you're too picky, then there's a chance that all the roles that you wanted could be filled by the time they see your application. And even if your application is super bomb, they won't be able to give you a job, because what if you only show interest on 3 or 4 roles and all those ones are full? So just make sure to meet in the middle, be open-minded, but also know yourself well enough to only select jobs that you'll be able to keep a positive mind. If you want further research on roles, then there's a ton of YouTube videos out there that give you a breakdown of what the different roles like really entail. Just educate yourself on that leading up to your application. Okay, the next part is the real meat of the application. This is what I think really is going to set you apart from the literal tens of thousands of applicants that apply to the DCP. And guys, I don't say tens of thousands lightly. I know it seems very daunting and like I'm exaggerating, but I'm not. When I was accepted in 2016 and did my DCP, they told us that they had 26,000 applicants and only 4,000 were accepted. And I can only assume that it's grown from then. So you're competing against a lot of other people, and while that can be very intimidating, know that the stuff that I'm telling you should help you out. So with that, we're going to be talking about the real meat, the job history. This is the part of the application where you get to talk about why your jobs make you a good employee for the Disney company. And you can do this by using keywords. It's my personal belief that no humans actually look at our applications until you make it to the phone interview, because I just don't think it is possible for them to manually inspect every application when there's literally tens of thousands coming in within the short amount of time frame that they have for application seasons, which is usually about 2 months, and a lot of acceptances start going out about a month after the application's open. So assuming that the application part is automated, that would mean that the computer would be looking for keywords. So you want to make sure that your job description is very Disney keyword dense. And what I mean by that is you want to include a lot of qualities that Disney is looking for in your job history description. Furthermore, what I mean is you need to list jobs that relate to Disney. And you may be thinking, I don't have any job history that can relate to Disney. And what I say to that is you're not thinking hard enough, because even if you don't think you have any jobs that relate, I promise you, you can find a way that it relates to Disney. And if you're like, Taylor, I don't have any job history, there's gotta be some sort of experiences that you've had in your life that relate to Disney, or that could relate to their standards or what they're looking for. Maybe it's that you served your church, maybe it's that you've babysat your siblings or neighbors, whatever it is. You just got to put your thinking cap on, okay guys? But the best advice I can give you for trying to make it Disney keyword rich is grab a pen and paper and ask yourself these questions. Think about cast members and what they represent and what they entail. And while you're thinking about that, write down what qualities do cast members possess, what skills do they need, and what is Disney looking for. And just jot down anything that comes to mind. A few ideas that I can give you to kind of get the ball rolling in that is that It is so important at Disney that you are on time to work. So being on time, being positive and optimistic, and being a team player. Those are all things that Disney is going to want to look for. So after you have a big list of all those ideas down, think about how they can relate to your job history and include it in those. I think it's important to note that it's okay to take your time on this. So I used to think that as soon as application dropped that I need to hurry and type it and get it done and get it in because I needed to be one of the first ones in order to make it through. I, however, don't believe that's true anymore because I think it is, you know, computer generated. So they're just looking for keywords. So if you take more time to make sure it is super strong and you've got a lot of Disney type qualities in your job description, that's gonna push your application to the top of the bin and move you over to the web-based interview. And from there on, it should be smooth sailing. The next tip that I have on this, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense if I think that it's computer operated, but my stats say differently. So I say submit your application during Florida's office hours. So a little less than office hours, from like 8 to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So the first 2 times I applied, it was at nighttime. I got put into submission immediately. Ever since I got accepted, I've applied during office hours and I get the web-based interview like at the most an hour later. So I don't know if it's true or not, but my stats say that if you apply during office hours, maybe you have a better chance. So it doesn't hurt to do that. And that actually brings us to all the tips that I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that I was able to offer you guys some tips that you haven't heard before. And if you learned something new that you haven't seen from other application videos, then make sure to give it a big thumbs up down below, as well as share this to the DCP Facebook pages or on your Instagram to help out some future cast members. And that is all I have. So thank you guys so much. Make sure to subscribe down below if you aren't to join the Tea Party. See you next time. Bye.